Shooters are currently very popular in VR, but there's always been a few quirks that maybe needs to have some sort of support, but considering we as a species seems to attempt to fix that ourselves with tools and equipments to improve immersion and functionality, some make the headset straps that work better, sits tighter, and some are for comfort. I've got a family member that bought a 3D printer and had it as a hobby for quite some time, just making random stuff. One day he asked me if I wanted something done, so I asked if he could make some dice and maybe even a gunstock for VR. So a few months later I got my hands on all the parts, so I went out to obtain the last pieces needed to complete this build. Sadly, the magnets and glue that I got was not really the best. The glue took weeks to actually set properly and the magnets were too small for the 3D print. But I tried it out way too early and the magnets came off again and again. So I let it sit for weeks without using it, essentially giving up on it. But maybe a year later I tried it again. I must say that the build is quite scuffed because the glue has literally made the magnets lock in a bit too far apart. Like with the glue coming out in the way and the print having some sort of makeshift module to keep it in the right spot, which obviously doesn't work properly now as the plugs and holes etc. that is made for it doesn't quite come in contact with each other because of the glue. But I must say, outside of that, sniping with a gunstock is top tier when it comes to VR shooters.
Hello.
No.
Oh, he's shooting me.
But I'll also say you're way faster at reloading without a gunstock. But that might just be because I haven't used it for too long and how messed up mine truly is. But until I obtain a proper one without the quirks that I accidentally gave it, I might think otherwise about how gunstocks will improve the game. This gameplay in the background is from me using the gunstock, but I'm still not quite sure if it's even worth it unless you want to snipe some people, because if you use the gunstock as a sniper and if someone runs up on you, it needs to release easily so that you can pick up your pistol, but it can't be too easy to detach because it needs to stay on in those pesky gunfights. And the same when you need to get it back on, it needs to be easily found, which can sometimes not be the case if you don't have proper stuff. So, do you think it's worth making the gunstock by yourself? Well, yes and no. If you have access to all the extra components and you find a really well-made model to 3D print, where you might not have to change any proportions yourself and everything just works, then sure, make it yourself. But I still think buying one that is licensed is probably better, because they are at least properly made, and you don't have to spend time making it, because it takes a long time to print. But I got mine printed because most of the people who actually sell gunstocks are outside of Europe, and that would become very expensive to purchase for me. So if you are in Europe, then I say try and make one. The most important thing is that you enjoy yourself while playing VR, and if this is just something you want to test out, do it. All that can happen is that you're disappointed or you're gonna enjoy yourself. So there we go. Have a good one. See you in the next one. Bye!